I was at Barnes & Noble recently and I discovered a book that I'm so excited about. I have to show you, okay? It's this advent calendar. It's called A Heart for Christmas, okay? And it's an advent calendar book. I'm obsessed with advent calendars. I'm sure plenty of you have had those advent calendars that are like, you get a chocolate for every day of December leading up to Christmas. I've had those, I've had the Smarties ones, I've had a whole bunch of like little kid candy ones. And so when I saw this book, I was so excited. Okay, I have to show this to you. Okay, look at this. So, looks like a regular book, right? Then you turn it to the side and it's like, is that a sprayed edge? What's different about this book? And what's different about it is, look how it flexes. That's weird, right? It's because each chapter is sealed together. So you see like chapter 1 and then it flips immediately to chapter 2 and chapter 3. You can kind of tell how the pages are flexing like that. They're all sealed together and they have this perforated edge, and you just take like a letter opener to them and open them each day leading up to Christmas. The last chapter comes on December 24th. You read it the night before Christmas, and it's a romance, and it's all like, you have to bust open each page leading up to Christmas. And let me tell you, when I saw this, I instantly had to buy it, and I've had my grubby little hands on this ever since I bought it, with no bigger desire in my heart but then to open it. I literally had my husband hide it from me from the moment I bought it till right now as I'm showing you this short, because I'm afraid I'm gonna open a chapter early. I'm so excited about it. I hope it's a good romance, but I know I'm at least going to have a good experience reading it because it's gonna be so fun to crack open a chapter each time. But at any rate, I will be reading this in December. If you're interested, maybe I'll do like a short a day in December, just giving like my reaction. I won't spoil the book or anything. I'll just share the vibes and squeals and feels that I'm feeling with each day. And that way, if you have this book too, we can kind of react to it together. You can see how I reacted, comment if you felt the same way. And if you didn't buy it, then you can live vicariously through me. But I think it could be fun. So let me know. Enough of you said that you wanted it, that I am going to be opening this book with all of you each night, and I'm so excited for it. So excited, in fact, that the date was November 30th, but it's after midnight now, and therefore December 25th. And so we get the letter opener out, we get the book, and it's time to open the very first chapter of our Advent Calendar romance book. December 1st. Here we go. Oh, that is so easy. Wow. I thought I would end up with like really rough pages, but it just went right through. And now I can read it. I'm so excited. Okay, I just read chapter 1. I really want to keep going. So little has happened so far. It's really just the introduction, which is exactly how first chapters go, I know. But I want to keep going. So it's unfortunate that I can't until tomorrow. I at least know our characters and our setting so far. I really only got less than 16 pages. That's not enough for one day. Rude. So now I just have to wait till tomorrow at midnight, because I'm reading it early. I'm not reading it early. It's technically December 1st. I'm not breaking any rules. So tune in for tomorrow to see what chapter 2 brings. It's time for day 2 of the Christmas Advent book that I'm so excited for. That's right. It is December 2nd. It's time to open the second seal, as it were. Oh, that's so satisfying. You can't see it, but there's a little cloud of dust that comes up when I do that. Here we go. Okay, that is chapter 2 finished. We meet who I believe to be the love interest, and I don't think that's much of a stretch. And it's so cute. I love the interactions that we're having with the main character and her family and the other personage, and just kind of her negotiating her own life, learning a little bit about other people she hasn't seen in a while, and the potential romance. I also didn't know that this book was going to do this, but I guess it makes sense since the days are labeled December 1st, December 2nd, December 3rd, and so on. Each day in the book so far has also corresponded with December 1st, December 2nd, December 3rd of the days in the story. So that's fun. I hope that it continues that way, because I feel like I'm kind of like living out my pre-Christmas season with April, the main character of this book, which is really fun. So that's day 2. It's day 3 of this Christmas Advent book. It's December 3rd. So let's open the December 3rd page. I guess it's December 3rd pages, right? Oh. Still satisfying, even though it caught at the end. Here we go. Wow, that chapter ended differently than I expected it to. Okay, yes, already very much loving this book. We're getting to meet a couple more characters, and things are starting to be really interesting. We're getting some playfulness, and it's really fun. Also, this book was written in French originally, and there's a couple of times that I noticed some like weird English isms that I think come from the translation. For example, we have the Tibetan Cafe is one of the most popular bars in town. I went there once with Dad when he took me to a music concert. I love that, just a music concert. But the thing is like these little odd English isms aren't so weird that it like makes the book weird. It kind of just gives it like a pleasant taste. Like the place locations and such that are all very French. It's kind of fun. I feel like I'm in the French countryside while reading this. Also, I realized that since, as I mentioned yesterday, it goes day by day with the story and as you read, I realized we've been talking about one of her friends coming on December 10th, and that means that on December 10th for me, her best friend Eva is gonna show up. So that's a really fun aspect about this book. Welcome back to December 4th, day 4 of the Christmas Advent book challenge that I'm doing, and I'm so excited to dive in. So let's get to it. Here we go. Best feeling ever. Wow. That chapter was really intense. So we're getting a lot at this point of story about April and just kind of like her inner thoughts with everything that's going on. She has a big health issue, and wow, there's a really good conversation there. I feel like this chapter was doing a lot of building between April and who I believe to be the potential love interest, and just building up of her story and her development. I really liked it, but it left me with like a really heavy feeling. Let me know if you're reading along with me how you felt about this chapter, and follow along for day 5. It's December 5th, and you know what that means. It's time to open another chapter in my Christmas Advent book. Here we go. Oh no. Oh. It caught and it tore so horribly. Look at that. Oh, tragedy. I cleaned up the extra edge, but I guess this means I can't be as vigorous as I have been with this, unfortunately. Oh well, I'm gonna read my chapter now and pretend that I didn't just rip my book. There's a whole page that I didn't even open. Oh my gosh, I have failed so miserably at opening this chapter. I gotta be less excited and more practical when opening these. Wow, I can't believe I did that. Wow, that chapter was a roller coaster. There was such a funny, weird, awkward thing that happened. I'm sure you can see my facial expressions as I was reading. That was hilarious. But it ends with a really nice moment with her dad. So we get funny and heartwarming. So basically all around a great chapter. So I can't wait for tomorrow. Welcome back to me reading this Advent calendar book. It's December 6th, which means it's time to read day 6. And this time when I open the pages, I'm not gonna rip them. I'm going to be careful. Haha, perfect. Time to dive in. I did it again. This is the same as yesterday. I left a page connected. I swear, I was so careful this time. You guys heard me. I can't believe I left the middle page again. Tomorrow I'm gonna have to count the individual pages before I rip them open. That's it. that ended way too soon. I was just getting into that. Wow, this chapter was full of excitement. There was some chaos, some adventure, and some good moments. I mean, I don't want to tell you what happened, but I liked it. I had a good time, okay? I'm really enjoying the character development that we're getting so far. I feel like I've read so little of it, and it's really kind of a short book, but we're really doing a good job going through some real development so far with our characters, and I'm really enjoying it. Welcome back for day 7 of reading this Christmas Advent book together, and this time I'm going to open all of the pages. 4 on this side, 4 on that side. Okay. I'm not going to open only half the pages. Ooh, I almost ripped it there. But all is well. Wow. That chapter hit a little close to home. If you are reading this book with me, that might tell you a little bit about me. Yeah, wow. That was a lot. Sometimes things are just hard. And I like the way that this book approached a hard topic. It didn't shy away from it being hard, and is letting the character and you through the character feel the things. So it was a very good chapter and also very hard. Welcome to December 8th. That's day 8 of my Christmas Advent Calendar book that I've been reading. It's very fun. So let's open December 8th. I just love the treat of opening a section of pages every single day. Here we go. Haha! No. I keep getting cut off right as things get interesting. I'm so upset. Okay. This chapter was adorable and frustrating in good ways. There was a lot happening, and I don't know, we're just getting to a really exciting place with the book, and I want to keep going, but I'm not going to. I'm going to be respectful of what I said I would do with this. I'm not going to read more chapters, even though I really want to. Welcome to December 9th, day 9 of this Christmas Advent Calendar book that I've been reading. Let's open December 9th's day of this romance book. Oh man, I'm gonna mess it up. Okay, I'm gonna go from the other side. I'm so scared about ripping this book again. Haha! I saved it. No ripped book today. The chapters keep ending, and I want them to keep going. Oh my gosh, that was really exciting. It's ramping up, and we're not even halfway yet. And wow, that chapter was so fun. Well, tune in tomorrow for chapter 10, December 10th. I cannot wait. And wow, I'm really enjoying this book. Welcome back for day 10 of my Christmas Advent Calendar. Let's open up December 10th's day. Trying to hold it for optimal ripping, or minimum ripping, actually. Optimal opening. Haha, easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, I cannot wait to read today's chapter. Okay, wow. So first off, this chapter started out hilariously with the lyrics to "Do You Want to Build a Snowman" from Frozen, which was very unexpected. As I mentioned a couple days ago, that on day 10 is when her friend comes to town. So we have a new character on the scene. We've been getting texts from her before now, but we finally see her. I'm like, I don't want to spoil anything, but at the same time, it's kind of fun to talk about. She is the sister to the potential love interest, which makes it super funny and complicated, and she doesn't have a very high opinion of her brother. And so it's just making this all more interesting and confusing. But also, because she's back in town, the whole chapter today was about her, which is great and fun. But I need a little more romance. So stick around for day 11 of the Christmas Advent Calendar book, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. I almost forgot to film tonight, but it is technically after midnight on December 10th, so therefore it's December 11th of my Christmas Advent Calendar book that I've been reading. So let's dive in. I seem to have misplaced my letter opener sword, but we have a pen, and this should work. Let's see. Not very good, but it's okay. Ooh, little rough edges. I'll find my letter opener before next time. Okay, you know, I've been a butt about the end of every chapter so far and how I want more, but this cliffhanger is insane and uncalled for and unfair, and I want to keep reading. This is so it's actually been kind of bad with the pacing. I mean, not bad in a bad way, but like as a reader, the pacing has been kind of funky, where every day that I read is a day of their lives, and so sometimes things end on like, oh, I feel like this chapter could have gone on longer, but they only have 16 pages, and so today's fun is up. And today is even worse because I'm pretty sure that their excuse for putting the next day on the next day is going to be that it's after midnight, and so it feels like it's still the same scene and I want to keep reading it. But it's going great. Everything is chaos in the best way, as romance books tend to go. Welcome back to day 12 of reading my Christmas Advent Calendar romance book. We're going to open up day 12, December 12th today. You may have noticed from previous videos that I've been opening this book with the Nightblood sword letter opener that I have, and I've misplaced it. Yesterday I used a pen. That didn't work very well. It's somewhere in this room. I can't find it, but I decided to replace it with a Chris knife from Dune. May the knife chip and shatter. Let's see how this does. If I'm honest, it was not that much better than a pen. This is not actually a letter opener, it's just a shelf decor item, but whatever. I just realized I get to read the rest of the scene from yesterday. I'm so excited. I don't know why I didn't think of that until literally as I opened the book. Probably because the words are here reminding me that that's what's happening. Oh boy. Wow. Things are picking up. We started off with a very exciting romantic moment. That was very, very fun. And so I did get to finish the scene that I was wanting to finish. And then things get a little rough with her friend, and then just rough in general. I just don't know how this is gonna go. She learned some information, and I think that ultimately the result of it is just going to be people make mistakes and grow up. But like, there's a lot of weight in this, and I don't think that the situation is as weighty as it currently seems, but man, this is going to be interesting. I'll put it that way. Also, I just realized I'm halfway through with the book. That was day 12 out of 24, and that's how math works. So I'm halfway there, which means things did need to get interesting, and they did indeed get interesting. Hello, and welcome back to day 13 of me reading this Christmas Advent Calendar book. It's time to open December 13th. Here we go. Oh boy, I'm so gonna rip this. Okay, it's open. The damage to the page is even minimal, which is nice. So it's time to read it. This was a really good chapter. I really like the note that it ended on. It addressed a lot of my concerns with the last section. Like, I don't know, I was feeling a lot of heaviness, as I mentioned, after the last chapter, and this one is giving me a lot more hope for the romance, which is something I really need when I'm reading a romance. I can't do the whole, like, everything is darkness and they might not make it for very long in a book because it starts to weigh on me. So I was really happy with how this chapter kind of lightened and like resolved some things and made me feel better about the whole thing, and it was all very cute. So I'm very excited to keep going. Welcome back to day 14 of reading this Christmas Advent Calendar romance book. It is December 14th, and therefore time to open the December 14 chapter. Great news, by the way, I found Nightblood, my letter opener sword that works properly, so we're back on track for opening this book well. Isn't that just so much better than what it has been? This letter opener is a revelation. Wow. This was the hijinks that I adore in romance books. This chapter was so fun. The chaos, the near misses. It was very, very fun. I don't have anything more to say other than that it was fun, and I'm so excited to read day 15. Welcome back to day 15 of reading this Christmas Advent Calendar romance book. We are on December 15th, so let's get to it. Haha, here we go. All right, we get a very fun growing together scene with a lot of just interest going on, and then it ends with a very, very exciting revelation. Not for our characters, for other characters. Wow, I cannot wait to see how the next, a little less than 10 days of the book go. Welcome back to day 16 of reading this Christmas Advent Calendar book. It's a romance novel and I'm having a great, great time with it. Today is December 16th, so let's crack open today's chapter. Haha. Okay, it's time to read. Oh, okay. This was a good chapter. It was really hard because, as I mentioned yesterday, there was a revelation to some other characters and it went very poorly. So first off, I think it was really interesting what they did with this chapter. I mentioned that every day that I read is a single day for them as well, which makes it interesting for cliffhangers because they have to cut off and then the next time we pick up has to be the next day. And so about half of today's chapter, well, probably not half, like a couple of pages of today's chapter was a flashback to the day before. And I think that's a pretty clever way to handle wanting to address stuff that happened the day before in the new chapter, but it is kind of funny that they're having to work around their own rules. I do like the way that the chapter went. It was hard and there wasn't any resolution yet. Obviously, we're only on 16 out of 24 chapters. I just think that it is realistic. It's showing that things are hard and people react poorly to things sometimes, and sometimes you need to do more thinking about things than you might have done before, and there's just gonna be messy times and you have to wade your way through it. It doesn't just magically resolve itself. You have to work for that. So that was today's chapter. It was really good. Welcome back to day 17 of reading this Christmas Advent Calendar book. We are on December 17th. So let's open that chapter. I'm pretty sure no publishers are following me right now, but if you are a publisher and you're following me, I would like more of this. That is such a fun experience. I didn't quite get it all the way though. Voila! If any more publishers want to make books like this, please do. I will buy them all. All right, time to read today's chapter. That's today's chapter. Ooh, my adrenaline is pumping. This was very exciting. We're still in the turmoil, but we got some really good moments between the two of them. It was really, really, really cute. I was distressed for a minute thinking we were gonna have this whole big misunderstanding scene, but we didn't. Sorry about the train outside, and I'm very glad we didn't because the rest of the chapter was awesome. And I wish I could read the next one right now. But alas, the train and I, that you may not be able to hear, but I can definitely hear, hope that you join us for tomorrow, day 18. Welcome back for day 18 of this Christmas romance Advent Calendar book. I've been reading it, I've been having a great time, so let's dive into December 18th. Here we go. Ah, I can never get that last little bit. Voila. Ah! Okay, well, that ended in a crazy place, and they're starting to break their own rules with a day for each day as we're going. Today, we had sort of an evening escapade from the day before that led into the middle of the night. Exciting, I know. It's getting spicy. But that does mean it was mostly yesterday, and then we got a little bit of December 18th. But not that much of it. And now we're ending the day in the middle of December 18th. I could see how it could lead flawlessly into the 19th, but I wonder if it will. Things are getting kind of crazy with her family and things are getting very exciting and happy with said couple. And yeah, it's just a good time. So be sure to follow along for December 19th. You're not going to want to miss my reaction to whatever it is that happens tomorrow. Welcome to day 19 of reading this Christmas Advent Calendar book. I am so excited for today, day 19, December 19th, because we left on a cliffhanger yesterday, the cliffiest of hangers that we have had in this book so far. And so let's dive right in. Waha! Time to read. That was really frustrating. Okay. Wow. Just a very, very frustrating chapter today. I mean, it makes sense based on who all of the characters are, but that doesn't mean I have to like it. Just a whole day of rigmarole and people being mean, basically. I mean, it's one of those, like, we're being mean because we're being kind sort of things, and it's like everyone in her life. Because she did make some mistakes, and it was just a really hard chapter to read, very frustrating. I'm very curious how in the next 4 days, because we're already to December 20th, this is going to turn into a sweet Christmas romance. Hello and welcome to day 20 of reading this Christmas Advent Calendar book. I am so excited. We have 5 chapters left, 5 days left. So let us waste no time and open today's chapter. I never get that last little bit. There we go. Time to see what happened after yesterday's chaos. Ugh, okay. Things are starting to come to some kind of a resolution. There's a lot of unhappy feelings. We're kind of in the depths of despair part of the story right now. We're coming out of it, but that doesn't make it not frustrating. You know, like, we're still in a lot of, like, hurt and anger from our main character at everything that's going on and the decisions she feels like she needs to be making. And I'm feeling all of those emotions with her, but I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, which is good because I couldn't figure that out yesterday. So that's good, and things are good with her best friend again, and that's really nice, and there's hope for the future. So I just want to get to tomorrow's chapter and start to see that hope come to fruition, hopefully, but we'll see. So stick around and subscribe for December 21st. Welcome back to day 21 of reading this Christmas Advent Calendar book. We are to December 21st. So let's open today's chapter. Voila! I just keep rereading the last sentence over and over again. Yeah, there have been some good resolutions in this chapter, some people coming together, but not the right ones. And it's really sad, and, like, you know, it's a romance. I know that the whole gig is that there's a happily ever after, but it's not there yet, and I'm really sad about it. And it better get there. It will. I can trust that it will, but things are not there yet. But, you know, you have to wait and apologize enough and make things good again. Okay, well, it was a good chapter. It was. We're coming so close to the resolution that it's so stupid to not keep reading. But that's the whole gig of this book, is a chapter a day. So I'm gonna stick with it. All right, welcome back to day 22 of reading this Christmas Advent Calendar book. We are on December 22nd. So let's open today's chapter. All right, time to read. Okay, wow. Wow. What a crazy chapter. That was chaos from start to finish. There's deep concern for the entire chapter that something has gone horribly wrong. And not to spoil the chapter, but luckily it didn't, and we've ended on a very exciting note, and I cannot wait for tomorrow. Wow, what a chapter. Like, my adrenaline is so high right now. My heart is beating like nobody's business. Wow, what a good chapter. All right, well, I am so enthused for tomorrow's chapter. Welcome back to day 23 of reading this Christmas Advent Calendar romance book. We are on December 23rd. Let's open today's chapter. I've been waiting for this all day. It's the second to last chapter, so let's read. Wow, wow, wow. What a good chapter. It was really, really fun. It was pleasant and chaotic. I really, really enjoyed the resolution that came about finally in this chapter. Even though not everything is resolved, like the main thing that I needed to be resolved with our two protagonists is finally resolved, and I'm really, really happy about that. We do have some drama that happened with the family, and that is not resolved yet, but I don't care. It will resolve and it'll be fine. But the thing is, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, things are what they are, and it'll either be fine or it won't, and I think it will. It was just a really good chapter. The chaos was the kind of chaos that is just like normal life. It's not life or death, as sometimes happens in this book. Welcome back to day 24, the last and final day of reading this Christmas Advent Calendar book. I've had so much fun with this, and I can't believe that we're finally on December 24th, Christmas Eve, and the last chapter of this book. So let's open up the very last chapter. I thought on the last day I was going to be able to open it all in one swipe, but it was not to be. But that doesn't mean I can't read it. So here we go. That was great. I just finished the last chapter. That's crazy. The whole book is open now. It ended really beautifully. I really, really liked the ending. It was so sweet. I love when books find ways to bring people together in the end. And it happened in a figurative sense and also in a literal sense, and that was really lovely. The chapter was very, very sweet and heartwarming all throughout, and just the perfect wrap-up to this book. I feel like we got to see everyone's personalities shine and appreciate all the characters we've come to know and love throughout the book, and just see that things can actually be okay. And things can be lovely, and they can be so good, even if not everything is perfect. And I think in this instance, more things than we had any right to have ended up perfect in a convincing way. It didn't feel like it was a just so sort of thing. That was awesome. I really, really liked this book. Welcome back to day 25 of reading my Christmas Advent Calendar book. Merry Christmas, it's December 25th, and that means I've finished this book. I'm excited to come on today though and talk about my feelings about this book as a whole. First off, I think the story of this book is absolutely adorable. It's really, really sweet, and it addresses a lot of the complications of life, what it's like to have a major illness, what it's like to have complicated family dynamics, what it's like to navigate the world as a young adult, and those strained relationships between adult child and parent, and complicated friend relationships, and the chafing that can happen after years of having things be one way and wanting to change to be another way. I think it handles all of these dynamics in a really mature and interesting way that really makes you think about your own life and just sort of process the experiences that you've had. I thought that April and Augustin were adorable. I really liked their romance. It did come on a little fast, but not so fast that it didn't make sense. And I think that kind of comes down to a major part of what I want to discuss about this book, and that is the format that it comes in. Reading a chapter a day for nearly a month for 24 days straight is such an interesting experience for reading a book. I have never done anything like this before. Typically, either I pick up a book and breeze through it kind of right away, or I read a book in a couple of chunks. I read the first third, and then 2/4, and then the last little fraction of the book in like different sittings. Or I read it across a long amount of time, but with big gaps in between and still in chunks, not a chapter every single day. And I think the way that this book is set up, where you get the same amount of content about these characters every single day, was just so fascinating, because it made the however many days it was of leading up to their romance, it really made you cherish those days and see the flirting and kind of feel like, yeah, I've started to get feelings for, or at least understand the feelings for the main character, the main male lead that our protagonist is starting to fall for. And you can really follow it well because you're living those days along with them. It also means like, I spent a lot of time with these people. I spent half of a month with them, and I think about them a lot. I've thought about them a lot over the last 24 days. I don't know, it's just such an interesting way to consume a book. I think it's going to stick with me for so much longer because I was forced to pace myself and because I interacted with them for so many days in a row. It also means that a lot of the stress of the book stuck with me longer, because if things ended on a poor note between characters for a day, that was all I had for them for the day, and I had to sit and feel that emotion for longer. And I'm not going to say that it's better or worse than any other kind of reading a book, but I do know that I tend to, if I'm listening to an audiobook, I'll like speed up the audiobook when things are really distressing because I want to get through that faster. Or if I'm reading physically, then I'll just try and get through that part as fast as I can. And this really made me sit with it. It was good and it was bad and it was a lot of things, but it was just very different than my typical reading style. So it was a lot of fun, and it's definitely made me think about how I approach reading books. I also think that the way that things resolved with this book was really, really sweet and made a lot of sense. It wasn't, I feel like it is in danger of feeling like just so, like everything worked out because plot, but it didn't feel that way to me, and I think that's because of who the characters were and the circumstances involved. For example, the parents are concerned for a very relevant, specific reason. Our main character, April, has a donor heart, so she has very specific things that she has to do to keep herself healthy, and her parents are very reasonably kind of helicoptery with her, but they are also trying really hard to keep a healthy relationship with her and morph that relationship into an adult child and parent relationship, which not all parents are able or in the right mindset to do. And so I think because of the mindset that they're in, the way that it rounds out and how the happy ending comes from the family perspective does actually feel quite realistic. And of course, Augustine coming back around and forgiving April for what she did wrong, which was essentially just breaking up with him out of nowhere after things went poorly with her heart because she was worried about him and didn't really give a lot of thought into how he would want to approach that relationship, not really giving him a voice in the situation, making that choice for him, which is really hurtful. And he wasn't sure how things would go in the future if she reacts that way. But he was able to forgive her for making that choice and come back together with her after she asked for forgiveness, wanted to get back with him. And that made sense too, because this is the beginning of a relationship. They're still getting to know each other and they're still getting to know being in a relationship as young people. And so I really loved it. It made so much sense to me and was just such a lovely read for this warm and cozy month. I'm definitely going to be trying to find another book like this to read next year because I really, really liked the experience of experiencing Christmas with a romance book or otherwise chapter a day advent calendar kind of book. It kept me in the spirit of Christmas even when times and work and such got hard and stressful. So I really liked it. I think it's going to become a new tradition for me.